welcome to Millennial Milkshake, the podcast where three creepers revisit, re-experience, and review anything and everything from our childhood. My name's Colin O'Connell, and I was born in 1994.
My name's Josh Sakali, and I was born in 1995.
And my name's Michelle Potter. I was born in 1997.
Hey, my dog's gone. Where is he? Hey, where are you? Where are you? Nailed it.
That was good.
So we're reviewing Scooby-Doo. If you couldn't tell. That was a shit intro. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. we're going to keep it, obviously. But that was maybe the worst intro I've ever done.
We scrapped nothing.
I mean, that's not true. We cut so much from the show.
No, we don't. We never mess up. Ever.
This might as well be live.
It might as well be. We're that good at this.
Oh my god, this is rough. This is really bad. We reviewed what is it called? Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? We're going to talk about that. And let's just, Josh, Michelle, what personal experiences do you have with the show? Either one of you.
Saturday mornings. We could just start with that. So, this was a highlight in my childhood. I would say maybe around I was probably like maybe 7 when I really got into it. Early on, it was other shows a little bit more kid-like. This one, probably like 7 or 8, I really got into. And man, it is just a blast. And it's exactly how I remembered. I mean, I thoroughly watched this. Like, even when I was a teenager, I watched this throughout my life. So, nothing was really too much of a surprise to me. But man, I'm trying to think who my favorite character was when I was a kid. And I think it was probably Shaggy, but I remember having a Scooby-Doo shirt. It was like a blue tie-dye shirt with Scooby-Doo just right in the front. Don't know where that is.
He's lying. He's wearing it right now. You don't have to lie. He's actually worn it every single time we've recorded. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's been uncomfortable. It's skin tight.
You're allowed to wash your shirt too.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be authentic.
You're right.
But guys, I'm interested to hear what memories you guys have with Scooby-Doo.
I also feel like this was like a big part of my childhood. Probably not as much as yours, Josh. Like, I feel like there was like a few years where I really watched Scooby-Doo all the time, and then that was it. Like, I never really went back to it at all. I was like obsessed. I think it was the movie with like the electric guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
I loved that
James Gunn.
for a long time.
I think that was the second Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, that was great. And the show's great. It is a blast. It's a blast of a show.
I mean, I know we're mostly talking about Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Because that's what we watched. But I mean, there's a lot of like renditions of this show. Like a lot.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
And honestly, they're all like pretty good. I remember like one of the newer ones was called What's New Scooby-Doo. I think it came out in like the early 2010s. I would even watch that. I mean, it's not nearly as good, but there was a lot of like different periods of Scooby-Doo. So it's got quite the legacy on its belt.
Yeah, but we're reviewing the original 60s. I think it came out in the 60s, right?
Yeah, 60s, yep, and it goes into the 70s.
Which, again, if we have to explain this to our listeners one more time, can flip out. We can review things from before when we were born. It's fine, as long as it was a part of our childhood. Get off our backs, all right?
How annoying is it when people like think just because something came out before you're born, you probably never experienced it?
I know. It's like, listen, I've seen Saving Private Ryan. I got everything I need from World War II. All right. So don't you come at me and say, oh, you're not part of the greatest generation.
I mean, I can't stand when it's like, it's always with music or movies. They're like, I mean, you probably didn't see it because it came out in the 80s. And I'm like, do you think I'm limited to like only 1995 and on? Is that
there's the song Stairway to Heaven. I don't know if you've ever heard it before since you're so young. Everyone's heard that song. So yeah, I mean, my experience I think is a little different than yours. Similar but different. Josh, you talked about having a Scooby-Doo shirt. I will not to be a one-upper, I had Scooby-Doo overalls when I was a kid.
He beat me.
Yeah, they were just I think I was probably 6 or 7, and they were just like, I think regular overalls. They may have been like the ones that like zip off at the knees too, if I'm remembering correctly. And it just said Scooby-Doo on the front. Like there was no mystery van, no Scoob, no characters. I think it just said Scooby-Doo on the front.
That's excellent.
But with that said, I didn't grow up with Scooby-Doo much at all. Like I knew of it in the way that like, you know, it's one of the most famous cartoons ever, but I didn't watch the original Scooby-Doo much because I watched a different show, and a show that you two have never heard of. I watched a pup named Scooby-Doo, which was, you know, Rugrats all grown up when they're all like grown up. It's just the opposite of that. It's just when they're younger. So Scooby's a puppy, and Shaggy and Fred, Velma, Daphne, they're all little kids, right? And I love that show. It has a great theme song, and that's how I remember Scooby-Doo.
Wow.
Yeah. That, and I think Ruben, what's his name, from American Idol was in the one movie. So those two memories are pretty strong.
Yeah.
Colin, when you brought up a pup named Scooby-Doo when we were like discussing like which episodes to watch, I said I never heard of it. Like as you were explaining it, it like popped in my head. I definitely remember this. Like I remember yeah.
I know that show was dope. Maybe, I don't know. It was probably not very good. We're not reviewing it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, the theme song is just incredible. I mean, the theme song for this is also pretty cool. I mean, it's very iconic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's phenomenal. And even the songs they put in, like the chase montage scenes, are just like so fun.
I have notes about those songs.
I have notes. I have notes too.
Oh, and you guys might say some negative things, but oh man, I think that's such a fun part of the show.
Oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. We're gonna have to cut this out.
That's all right.
I'm off today. I really am off today.
Oh, you didn't have to work?
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Wow. I am just. Let's just fuck it. Let's just move on to Michelle's segment. That's all staying in, by the way.
Yeah. All right. So while Colin took a vacation day, I didn't.
I'm not talking the rest of the episode. This is my last sentence.
All right. Well, so a little bit of background on Scooby-Doo. Where are you? It was originally released in September of 1969. It's a series produced by Hanna-Barbera, which was founded in 1957 by the Tom and Jerry creators and directors William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, who did the Flintstones, the Jetsons, a lot of other good stuff. So the original title for Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Was The Mystery 5, and it was a show that was the result of CBS and Hanna-Barbera's plan to create this sort of non-violent Saturday morning program that would appeal to parents who were protesting these superhero-based programs in the mid-60s. So the idea for the show was to have a musical group called the Mystery 5, which was the name of the show originally, of these kids that would tour around in a van solving supernatural mysteries along the way with the help of a dog. They scrapped that eventually. Got rid of the whole...
They what?
They scrappy-dooed that.
There you go.
Thank you. And dropped the whole musical group idea. The next name they came up with was... it was called Who's Scared? With like 2 S's in front of it, which is something. But when that aired, the execs felt that the horror elements were a little too extreme. So CBS asked them to start from the drawing board, and eventually they came up with Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? That we know and love. Fun fact, Scooby-Doo's name came from the Frank Sinatra song, Stranger in the Night. You probably know it. It's a well-known song.
It's in Scarface.
Yeah, very well-known song.
For Scarface.
Right. Or Scarface. So the CBS vice president said in an interview he was on a red-eye flight, blah, blah, blah. He heard on the intercom this song and thought he was saying Scooby-Dooby-Doo instead of Dooby-Dooby-Doo. And he thought, oh, we'll call it Scooby-Doo.
That story's bullshit. All right.
That's the legend.
Story's a lie.
Probably. It probably is.
I don't buy that for a second. He heard Scooby-Dooby-Doo. No one has ever heard Scooby-Dooby-Doo outside of Scooby-Doo before.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? What are we Scooby-Dooing here? I mean, I don't want to rain on your parade, Michelle, but you just told us a lie. So, I mean...
I don't claim to be a historian of any sorts.
I think this is a mystery that we need to get to the bottom of.
Maybe. You do your own fact checking.
Let's investigate.
Like zoinks, she lied about the fact, Scoob.
Nah, but Scooby-Doo, right? Oh, Scooby's a triplet. I don't know if you guys know this. He has identical siblings. Skippy-Doo and Dooby-Doo are his two.
Did he hear Dooby-Doo when he heard the Scooby-Doo theme song and he thought that it said Dooby-Doo? And he was like, oh, I'm going to name my next character Dooby-Doo.
We need 2 more. Yeah, that's what happened. So there's a lot of very prominent voice actors from this show. Frank Welker, who has like a million acting credits, had his first like voiceover acting job at the age of 23 when he voiced Fred Jones. And he voiced Fred in every Scooby series except A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. And he's provided Scooby's voice since 2002. I think Don Messick was like Scooby-Doo originally. Casey Kasem voiced Shaggy for nearly 30 years, which is cool. And he actually exited the show because he's vegan and they asked him to voice Shaggy for a Burger King commercial and he refused, so he quit.
Wow.
Little did he know that they had the Impossible Whopper or whatever it's called right around the corner.
Yeah. I think he eventually he convinced them to have Shaggy become a vegetarian, like in the show in like 2002, and I think he came back possibly.
It's like a Lisa Simpson situation. You don't know that story, the Lisa Simpson? I think it was...
No.
Oh, I think it was Paul McCartney, like, wouldn't do the episode. Like, I think it's Paul McCartney. They were doing an episode where Lisa becomes a vegetarian. I think this was before, like, the term vegan was coined. And Paul McCartney was going to be in it, but he would only do it if they made Lisa a vegetarian permanently. And they're like, all right. So Lisa's been like a vegetarian or vegan ever since that episode.
Wow.
Little Simpsons trivia. I try to sneak Simpsons. If you guys have listened to the podcast before, I try to sneak Simpsons trivia into every episode. I'm not doing a great job of that so far.
There have been 12 versions and spin-offs and different things of the show. There might even be more at this point, but it's got like a huge legacy, as we know. Oh, and my last sort of fun fact for you all is in the second episode we watched, actually, we're going to go over, but the second episode we watched was season 2, episode 3. It was called Jeepers, It's the Creeper. And there's this whole montage of them being chased by the creeper while a song plays in the background. It's actually a song by Austin Roberts, and some of the lyrics, it's called Daydream, in parentheses, the ostrich song. And the whole lyrics of the song is it's fun to be in love with an ostrich. And it's the strangest song. But actually, I'm just wondering, our eldest millennial, Colin, has a massive fear of birds. So this was probably extra scary for him.
I didn't know it was about an ostrich.
And the more you know. You didn't hear the song?
No. I wasn't really listening to. I thought the song went, in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, birds sing, hey ding, a ding, a ding, ding. Is that not the song we listened to?
Oh, it might be. There might have been.
And then Gene Wilder popped out.
He was on a bus. Candy.
The best Willy Wonka song.
He was like, exploding gum for your enemies. We've talked about Willy Wonka a lot on this show, I think. I mean, they go hand in hand, right? What are all of the similarities between Willy Wonka and Scooby-Doo? Willy Wonka makes candy. Yeah, and Scooby and Shaggy love their food. It's a mystery how Willy Wonka's factory hasn't been shut down yet. So there's 2 things right there.
That's an excellent point.
Well, I mean, not to mention all the mysteries within, that happen in the factory. I mean, we don't really know what happens to everyone in there. I mean, we see it, but like we don't really know the finer details.
Yeah. Another link is the adults in Scooby-Doo are useless. Grandpa Joe is useless. So that's more. That's another link. I think it would be great if we never reviewed Willy Wonka on this podcast, and we just kind of get snippets through all of the episodes. And then our final episode will score it.
Let's just review Grandpa Joe.
0.
Yeah.
That was easy. Episode over. Michelle, is that it for the more?
That's all.
The more you know.
That's all for the more you know.
Well,
today.
Guess what? You're not done talking. I was gonna say something. I was gonna call you your name.
Okay.
But instead, I'm gonna say, can you read the Apple facts, please, today?
Yes, I can read our Apple facts.
You'll have to excuse Colin. He's been off from work today.
He took a vacation. He's still in vacation mode.
I didn't take a vacation. I worked today. I'm going to be honest. Honestly, worst Apple facts I've done so far. By far the worst. So just gear up.
Give them to me.
They're not good. Okay, they're not very funny.
Ready.
I know they're normally the high of the episode. Get ready for some lows, people, because get ready to buy some tools because we're getting into the lows. All right.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah.
See, that's better than any of the Apple facts I've written for today.
All right, guys. Number 1. Let's see. Let's get all of the low-hanging fruit out of the way first, huh? Shaggy is a stoner. Check. Fred and Daphne are fucking. Check. People on the internet are horny for Velma. Check. Okay, good. We got the lazy jokes out of the way.
That's it. That's the fact. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Michelle, how about you read number 2? Hey, Michelle, how about you read number 2?
Why you do this to me?
Because I did it to Josh before, so now it's time for you to do it.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay. Our Apple fact number 2. Ruh-roh. Looks like why Rory rest up ran Rory row rat with the redder war. Rat Rory row ring row. Rowing. I can't keep doing this so long.
Finish it.
Rowing Rory die Riz rat raff Roy and Rex rip. Instated rush rake Rochelle read risk raj ron prescribe rush unlistenable. I'll
translate. What Michelle said, as I speak Scooby, what she said was, looks like I can't even do it. Looks like my keyboard was messed up and every word now starts with the letter R. What are we going to do? I'll tell you one thing. We are not going to retype this fact after the keyboard gets fixed. No. Instead, I will just make Michelle read this fact as is. And I don't know. One word to describe this episode right now? Unlistenable. So that was number 2.
That was a struggle, to say the least.
I read it just fine. I don't know what problem you had. No one said you couldn't translate it.
Right.
Just so you know.
I should have pulled up Google Translate. You're right. I'll give you that. You're right. Okay. Number 3. Oh my God. Okay. Number 3. Phew. Looks like my keyboard got fixed at the end of that fact. Much like I hope Scooby got fixed, because just the thought of there being a bunch of talking dogs running around is enough to make me want to get run over by the Mystery Machine, not unlike a certain character in the HBO series The Sopranos. You see, folks, originally I wrote the character's name down, but Michelle, thank you. But Michelle is in the middle of watching the show, and I can only assume hasn't finished it yet, since she famously will binge an entire show and then wait a year later to watch the finale. So, while I'd love for that reference to have gone over smoothly, to have gone over smoother, it seems like I'll have to wait another year before I can make a joke about a series that ended literally 14 years ago. What was that? What was this fact again? Getting Scooby fixed? Fuck it. That little shit is too hungry and scared to be horny. He'd probably look at a dog vagina and think it's some ancient cursed ghoul. The only thing Scooby is eating out my God, is a nice dinner with his boy Shaggy. And now all of a sudden, this fact became wholesome.
Oh, that brings me to want to just complain about Michelle's methods of watching TV shows.
Finish shows.
I actually, Colin,
Just finish them.
How?
How long did it take you to watch the last episode of Mad Men? Like a year and a half, right?
yeah, a while.
Just
I
finish
do this.
the show.
So
I do this thing where I watch TV shows and I will like leave the last episode and I won't watch it because I don't want it to be over. So I just leave it.
There's a billion TV shows.
That's.
But I actually this summer watched all of the shows that I had one episode left of. So there's no shows right now. I just finished Curb Your Enthusiasm. I watched it straight through. So I'm proud of myself, you know?
How many
Getting
shows?
better.
How many shows did you have to like pick up on for the last episode?
Oh, there was 4.
Wow.
I think there was 4.
Michelle, I
Yeah.
don't know how you're able to do like. I mean, you don't want it to end, but you avoiding it doesn't mean the show didn't end. You know, it's over.
It's not even that I know, like, I don't want it to end. All of the shows are like dramas and they're just like emotionally draining. You know, like the last episode is usually rough. Like some of those heavy, like Mr. Robot was one of them. That's a heavy show, man. It's a heavy show. I don't know. I don't do it anymore, really. I'm a new person.
How far
I
are you
finished
through The
shows
Sopranos?
I'm on season 3, I think. Season 2, episode 11, maybe.
Oh, gabagool.
Now,
Cool.
now, Colin, it pains me to tell you, I still am on season 3 of Mad Men. I have not watched
Jesus
it.
Christ, that's been like 7 years.
I have not
Wow.
watched an episode of Mad Men in 2 years.
It's insane.
I don't know what to say. But
Also, season 4 is like the best season. You're like literally a season away from one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen in my entire life. Just so you know. Season 4 is incredible. Michelle, you also took like 5 years to watch The Wire, right?
No, I watched The Wire, I feel like pretty fast, but I did the same thing where I left like the last few
Yeah,
episodes of
that's
the
what I'm
last
saying.
season for like a year.
Yeah.
I just left it.
How do you remember things?
I remembered it fine.
I could never. I'd be like, wait, who's this guy?
No, like once I started watching it again, I like remembered most of it. But yeah, I really genuinely try not to do that anymore. All right. Where were we? Apple fact number 4. Here we go. So, what's the backstory on this van that the Mr. Gang drives around in? Have they been solving mysteries for so long that Fred has poured his entire identity into every fiber of his being, including the car that he drives? By the way, Fred, does your team even solve mysteries? Because it seems to me they just walk into a building, a monster chases them, the monster gets stuck, then they rip the mask off. Not exactly Hercule Poirot level detective work there, my guy. The only mystery Fred needs to be worried about is how the hell to get Velma to stop third-wheeling so he can get some Daphne action, or as I like to call it, Daphtion.
Daftchen?
Daphtion.
It's my favorite Daft Punk album.
Number 5. I'll be honest, I didn't really watch a lot of Scooby-Doo growing up. It never really appealed to me, even for an older cartoon. I mean, there were so many old cartoons I found more interesting, like the Flintstones, an obvious parody / adaptation of the Honeymooners, but this time without the consistent threat of domestic abuse. There was The Jetsons, a glimpse into the far future of 2062, where climate change and class warfare has driven society to live in the sky, and what I can only assume are climate and pollution-controlled glass domes. Or Snagglepuss even, with incredible quotes like, "I was captured in Cambodia for cavorting with a Cambodian, and I guarantee you that Michelle did not do the voice. Heavens to Murgatroyd, Michelle! You have to do the voice. Exit stage left. I don't understand."
What do you mean you don't understand?
I don't know the reference.
I'm sorry, what? You don't know who Snagglepuss is?
I need you to do the voice. I know of.
Josh, do you know
I
who
know
Snagglepuss is?
nope.
What the fuck is wrong with you two? Snagglepuss was a
So
big
much.
pink lion, and he would be like, "I'm Snagglepuss even." Like, just, it's the same guy that does the voice that was the Cowardly Lion, I think. So
Oh, I
it's
know
just that
him.
voice.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
I did not know that was
yeah.
his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Snagglepuss even. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm upset now. I'm mad, and I'm not talking for the rest of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
He belongs on a cereal box.
Taking my vacation.
He looks like a cereal mascot.
You already took a vacation. You know, sometimes
Finish your
you
sentence.
just gotta work. Sometimes.
No, I'm done with work. Down with work. Down with the system. Why do we work? Why do we work our entire lives just to get to the end and die, and we look back and we accomplish nothing?
Yeah, it stinks.
All day vacation. At least I accomplished not being mad all the time. That's what I say. Down with the system. Down with society. I listen to Rage Against the Machine every fucking day because I'm so hard. This episode has a weird vibe, guys. I'm just gonna say
It's got a vibe. I think it's got a weird vibe.
it really does have a weird
Why-
vibe. Is
why
this
do we
episode
work?
haunted? Like, what's
Colin
happening?
just gave me an existential crisis. Why do we work? Just to die.
Oh no. We can save this for another episode because this will take
no,
up too
I'm
much
done
time.
talking about Scooby-Doo.
In this
we have
TED
to talk
Talk.
about class warfare and pay discrepancy and
I would just like to say it, okay? No. We
No,
should
say it.
save it.
Say
no.
it.
No.
say it.
So, the first episode we watched,
That's not what you're gonna say, was it? What were you gonna say?
the first episode,
What
What
about
a
it?
night.
What? No, wait a minute. What's happening now? You were about to say something, and now you're transition. No, but you were transitioning because you said we'll save it for another episode. So, what were you going to say?
I truly can't remember.
Oh, that's the worst.
I am
I
livid
have-
at you right now.
I have no words.
This has been a very contentious episode between Michelle and I, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. We're gonna fight after this. What a night it's been for a night.
Is that what the episode's called?
It is. Our pilot episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Had a title, not just pilot. It was called What a Night for a Night.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys kind of talk about this episode because I only have 3 notes written down. Ready? Number 1, so much property damage. Number 2, why were the cops not called? Number 3, Fred just busted into a sarcophagus. You guys can take out away the rest of the episode.
I mean, the intro, obviously. What a banger. That's what I wrote down.
What's everyone's favorite part of the intro? Besides the song, obviously.
Ooh. I don't know why. I don't know if this is like genuinely my favorite part or if my brain's just like losing the rest of it right now, but I like love the bats in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
It's so great.
I like when Shaggy roller skates into the shower.
That's good. I like when
Yeah.
he smacks himself into the robot and and the robot's just looking down at him and you don't know what the hell happened after that. It just cuts to the next scene. So
Something bad happened.
something
you
happened.
right now.
Something happened to Shaggy. But let's be real. That's like that's like a pretty creepy part. Like, imagine. But all right, Michelle. I don't know how many notes you have on this. I kind of just like documented throughout the episode. So I mean, it is a lot. So I'm not gonna read everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, all right. So the episode starts off with a man driving his truck, and in the bed of the truck is a crate with a little message to deliver to Jameson Hyde White, Professor of Archaeology, London, England. And then the knight
Oi.
creeps out of the crate and just looks in the back window with his glowing yellow eyes.
Classic. Yeah. Yep. And then, well, after that, we cut to like Scooby and Shaggy walking. And do you remember the way that they walk?
Oh, who could forget the footsteps that Shaggy lays?
The footsteps that Shaggy lays are just, I mean,
Literally just snaps his foot into each step. Like,
it's just, it's elegant and so clumsy at the same time.
I mean, his hands are
It's
his
just-
hands are like touching the floor, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like-
hmm
He has, like, some grace, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't want too much grace because you'd just be falling over all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Sein-
just got this sort of.
Making a Seinfeld joke.
Colin, I'm sure you have some things to say about episode 1, regardless of your 3 notes.
Why were the cops not called? There's a missing person. Cops are never called until,
That's
like,
easy.
the end, right?
That's easy.
It's not easy. There's a missing person.
Do you know
They're the cops.
Do you know why they weren't called?
Why not?
Because it is up to them to solve it and then call the cops.
No.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's not when there's a missing person involved. When there's like, oh, there's a ghost in the house up there. We better check it out. That's fine. You investigate that all you want. There's a person who is missing. You call the police. They've got 72 hours before it's cold case. I mean, the police got to figure that out, or else cold case. That's done. You're never gonna find the murderer. So that's just irresponsible. Number one.
Oh, absolutely.
Number two, they just break into a museum. That's kind of not cool.
Fred just it's after hours, the place is closed, it's a museum, and you really think trying to open the door, it's going to be open. You're really shocked that it's locked.
Fred's a fucking dumbass. Let's just be honest here. He's dumb. He's just straight up dumb. And I get he's just there to kind of spell things out for the little kids at home. Oh no, the door's locked. We're going to send Shaggy up there because you're the skinniest. And it's well, I mean...
Well, no, that's a running theme. Fred and, actually the three of them just have Shaggy and Scooby do the grunt work, the work no one wants to do, and they just bribe them with some Scooby snacks. That's,
they
Shaggy...
do the Charlie work.
Shaggy, yeah, exactly.
They do
so,
the Charlie work.
He has Shaggy go up this wooden ladder and says, I'm going to get a jack to hoist you up.
Don't think that would work.
Nope, not at all. And
Definitely
do you guys
not.
remember when Shaggy goes to the top and he pokes his ass so far out? and as Fred is just cranking him up, he just stays put. Oh, I couldn't stop laughing at that part.
Yeah, and then Shaggy goes in and he breaks everything on his way down. This is a museum. These artifacts are literally priceless. And then you are sending this dumbass stoner idiot, just send him. How many floors was that? 5 floors? That's death height, by the way. 5 floors, that's death.
Which, let's be honest, how does Shaggy have the acrobatic strength?
He's the best flipper in the school, or whatever the fuck they said, right?
He's a good 10 to 20 feet from the window. This man just grabs on something and lifts himself through the window. I mean, rewatch the scene. He's basically flying through the air, and then he just goes in the window, and you hear everything break for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and he's just covered in artifacts.
He's the best flipper in the school. That's what Velma and Daphne say. Because that's a thing
say that.
Because that's a thing that about your school is who's the best flipper.
All right, do you guys remember the legend that what's his name, Mr. Wickles? Is that his name?
I don't know, I have 3 notes written down.
Yeah, Mr. Wickles. The I get he's the museum custodian. What's that called? A curator, something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Spoiler: he's the bad guy.
Yeah. So
because he's the one other character introduced in that episode. So of course it's him.
No. There's the driver in the beginning.
He's the one who gets got.
I mean, yeah. So
he's the one who gets kidnapped.
Yeah. He does get got.
There's someone else though. I thought.
I think there's a guard or something in the beginning, at the museum.
Yeah. But do you remember the legend of the Black Knight?
Something about a full moon?
Yeah, it comes to life when the moon is full. Why is that what,
werewolf?
Yeah.
Wait, so there were full moons in back-to-back nights then? That doesn't happen, right?
Oh, yeah, you're
I don't
right.
think I don't think it does.
I don't think that's scientifically possible.
But, different season, different episode. It was, time passed.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Are you talking about
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the next episode.
Because they're the night came alive, right? The night before, and then they come back the next night, and it's a full moon again.
Oh, I think meant there's a full moon in the Creeper episode.
Is there?
I don't know. I feel like there's a full moon in every episode. But
yeah.
Okay. I feel like no one's mentioned this, but one of the things that I wrote down immediately was the laugh track. I don't remember that at all.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
No.
Yeah.
That was a staple for those old cartoons.
Yeah, it was. And I was like, wow, I forgot about this. And in some of especially the second episode we watched, the laugh track is so scarce. It's only there a few times. And it's very weird, when it's not, when it should be.
There's a really funny part. Well, actually, no, not yet. But there's one part where, Shaggy sees the moon in the window and he's like, nope, I'm pulling the shade down because if the knight doesn't see the moon, he can't come to life.
Then it doesn't exist.
And he says to Velma, he says, you know how that full moon turns on the Black Knight.
He does say that, doesn't he?
And then I was cracking up at the part where, so Velma and Scooby go to this doorway and peek in a room, and Shaggy just continues walking past the doorway.
Yeah, and they're like, where'd Shaggy go? He's gone. It's a mystery. It's like, just continue to walk. He's there. He's like, look to your left. He's there.
He's right there.
Like, he's so dense. He literally just he just keeps walking. He doesn't care that they stop to peek in a room. He just casually walks by the door frame.
I bet you could fucking smell his ass from a mile away. There's no way they're losing Shaggy.
Oh man.
The only shower Shaggy has is in the intro.
Oh, and then this is the first episode, so we need Velma to explain her vision. Scooby runs when he's getting chased by the knight and knocks Velma's glasses off for the first time ever in the show. And Velma says, "Now look what that dog did. He knows I can't see without my glasses." Thanks, Velma. I didn't know that. I didn't know you needed those glasses to see.
Do you remember when Johnny Bravo met the Mystery Gang and Velma's glasses get knocked off and she's like, "I can't see without my glasses." And then Johnny's glasses get knocked off and he goes, "Oh, I can't be seen without my glasses."
I don't remember that.
Yes. Wait, that's really a thing, right? Because I feel like I remember that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that, like, the episodes, like, beat by beat. I can only assume that Johnny hits on Daphne 2 seconds into the episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, no establishing shot. It's just Johnny trying to get in Daphne's skirt. And I'm sure Fred was none too happy about that.
I also like when they go, like, they go to the secret room where they see the paintings and they see as soon as they see two identical paintings, the mystery is solved instantly.
Well, not even that. They're like, "Oh, this painting is missing. That's weird." And it's like, is it weird? I feel like paintings get taken down in museums all the time to, like, be cleaned and restored and stuff. No?
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, "That's weird. This painting's missing." And then it was kind of weird when there was, like, they brought him back and the painting was back. Like, that was weird. But is it weird that the painting was gone to begin? That happens all the time, right? In museums, doesn't it? They have to clean it and treat it and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't really know how it works, but I mean...
They get moved to other museums, too, all the time.
Yeah, so...
Like...
One of the most, like, ridiculous things that Shaggy does in this episode, I don't know if it's before, like, they notice the painting, but I think him and Scooby are, like, hiding somewhere in a box, and he goes, like, the knight is looking for them, and he's like, "Good thing I have that ventriloquism talent." And he starts, like, he says something, and then a completely different, like, box or vase or something starts speaking like it's him.
He channels his voice into another, like, well, he wants to channel into another room, but he channels it into a pot. Regardless, he has some weird ability where he could just, you know, because he can do ventriloquism, he can just channel his voice anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
No,
like that
all
translates.
Of these skills.
Like,
he can hop through holes. He can throw his voice.
He does more in that episode than anyone.
More than Fred, who doesn't do shit. Point one. All right, this is a fun game we can play. Point to one thing Fred does in any of these episodes that's helpful. Truly helpful, because I'm not counting the Jack thing because that's bullshit. What is one thing that Fred does this episode that's helpful?
He leads. He directs.
He's the leading like, man. Yeah.
I guess he's the one who, like, solves the crime being committed. But, like, again, he makes a big leap of logic at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Velma.
He kind of lucks into that one.
Yeah, Velma gives him all the ammo, and he kind of just, like, he takes a big leap of faith, pretty much. That's really it.
A man taking credit for a woman's hard work. Wow, Scooby-Doo. Way ahead of your time.
Wow.
I like when they do the recap after they catch the guy. They, like, recap everything for you, and they break down the whole scheme. Yeah,
because it's for dumb little kids who don't know what's going on. Because they just looked at a painting and they're like, "We know what happened," and the kids watching at home are like, "I don't know what's happening. What are you talking about?" There's a painting, now there's not, and now there's a knight. How do those coincide? My tiny little baby brain doesn't understand. And they explain it.
Whenever they would, like, reveal it, like, I would always pretend that, like, I understood the whole time. I was like, oh, like, yeah, of course, like, that's what happened.
That's the saddest thing I've ever.
I would just feel so smart, even if I didn't. Like, I'm sure I did actually get it, but like, do you relate? Do you know what I'm saying, Josh, or no?
I got you. I would lie to myself too.
Who are you pretending for?
Yeah. You would lie to yourself and be like, oh yeah, I understood. Like, I think I knew that. I think I knew.
Who are you trying to impress?
Herself.
Myself.
All right, let's go into the creeper. Okay, we've talked about the Black Knight enough.
I don't think we did because they break so much shit. Scooby breaks a goddamn T-Rex. He breaks a T-Rex. Fuck off, Scoob.
Well,
and then he's like wearing the suit at the end. It's like, that's not funny. Put that back.
Well, he also flies the plane throughout the museum and crashes it.
What? This show came out in the 60s. What are like World War II planes doing in a museum next to like ancient African sculpture, like the cultivation of civilization? They have artifacts from there, and also planes from 20 years ago. That's not a museum. What's happening?
It's in a different room.
But still, you wouldn't go to. I guess maybe no. You wouldn't go to a museum today, and they're like, well, here's an ancient Egyptian bowl that's priceless, and then the next room over, here's a Dell computer. Like, that's not a museum
Colin,
that exists.
It's not the museum of anything. It's just the museum. So it's gotta, it's gotta hit all the topics.
Have range. Yeah.
It's someone didn't understand how museums worked on this show. Much like how people didn't understand how dancing was, as evident in this next episode.
Oh, we'll get into that, guys.
Oh man.
And I'm just gonna start off with one of these notes. I'm gonna go into it a little bit. The barn has a banner that says school dance. Can someone clarify?
What school?
The first thing I wrote down is like, are these people teenagers, and why is there no one else there at the school dance? Because the first shot.
And when the lights go out and they're like, oh, this is scary. Bullshit. A barn full of teenagers where the power goes out, there are shirts and pants off right away. There's no, ooh, we're Scoopy. No. They're having unprotected sex because they didn't know about sex ed back in the day.
Well, Velma's like most mad. She's like, what about our dance? Like, she's like, the power's out.
Velma's like, I'm here to fuck. Like, but even the beginning of the episode though, is the bank guard not the exact same character model as the professor from the first episode? Not the same guy.
Yeah.
They're all sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the beginning. All right. Well, first off, the intro's slightly different. Did you guys notice that or not really?
No.
Yeah. So
I didn't get it.
Yeah. So they replaced like little things like some of the villains. Like I said, when he runs into the robot.
I think I skipped the intro.
Oh, Colin. All right. So
my rule for shows are I watch the intro once, and then I skip for every other episode, and then I watch the intro to the finale, unless there are exceptions like The Wire changes its intro every single episode or every single season. So I'll watch the first one of that.
Hurts.
But otherwise, no. It's the same. Listen, Miss, I don't finish shows. All right, I don't got time to be watching the Westworld intro which is 15 minutes long every single episode. You got to skip that shit. All right.
I don't skip them often. I don't know.
That's crazy. How many times are you watching Tony Soprano driving into New Jersey?
Every time.
Why?
Haven't skipped it once.
That's crazy. That intro's 20 minutes long.
It is, but it's like it like gets me. I don't know. I just like get ready for the episode. Like, yeah, okay, get into it. You know?
No,
I
don't do that shit at
groovin'.
all. No. Who cares?
Colin, the song was different. The song was different in season 2.
Was it? I know the song was different for the last one.
It was a little different.
It was slightly different. They sing like a couple parts differently. But yeah, he runs into the robot, and you see the robot legs, and then he looks up, and it cuts to the witch doctor villain. Makes no sense. It's clearly the robot legs, and then it just cuts to a completely different villain. So yeah, there's just different things like that, but nothing you need to really watch.
Oh, so I didn't need to watch it. Gotcha. So I made the correct decision is what I'm saying.
No. If you skip the Scooby-Doo...
No, you literally just said you didn't have to watch it.
You don't have to, but if you skip the Scooby-Doo intro, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
then I do not want to be
I
right.
agree.
Oh, I'm excited to hear Colin's review of this. I'm gonna be heartbroken. It sounds like
Of what, this episode?
no of Scooby-Doo.
Or the show in general? Oh, okay. You want to hear it now?
Nope, we
Before
gotta wait.
get in, and then you guys can just talk?
Nope, we gotta wait.
I'm fine to dip if you guys just want to wrap this up yourselves.
We
Got a vacation to get back to.
we didn't talk about the snack that Shaggy is excited for at the school dance.
I'm reading my note right now.
I mean, out of all of the things you could create, chocolate covered corn on the cob.
What is happening?
What the hell? Like,
We didn't even talk about Scooby Snacks in the first episode.
oh yeah, we didn't.
They're like, will you do it for Scooby Snack? He's like, 2. And they're like, all right. And that's the end of
Like,
it.
fine. That's it.
In a pup named Scooby-Doo, they'd be like, oh, Scoob, we need you to do this thing. And then he's like, I'm not going to do it. Will you do it for a Scooby Snack? And then they give him a Scooby Snack. And he turns into a literal rocket. And he shoots up in the air. And he becomes like Mighty Mouse. He's like supercharged Scooby, you know? In this one, he gets the snack and then he doesn't even do his job, you know? So there's that. Also, when did they decide to make Shaggy obsessed with food too? Like that would be interesting to see, like the turning point in that.
They always.
Not in the
wasn't
first
it,
episode,
like-
he wasn't.
All right, but
yeah, they didn't have to bribe him in like the first episode, but I feel like it was like I always remember it being the both of them.
Oh yeah, I do too. But I'm just saying, I wonder, like, it doesn't happen in the first episode. I wonder where they like make that character decision for him, that he's also obsessed with food.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I guess because the second season is when we see him eat like the whole table of food. So yeah,
Unbelievable. And they're like, oh my god. And then they're like, hey, let's take these plastic or these paper plates and just dump them outside next to the scarecrow. And it's like, fuck both of you. You're the reason this planet's dying.
Yep.
So upsetting. It's like that scene in Mad Men where they just take the blanket and they get all the litter off.
Oh my god, I can't stand that scene.
And then Don shotguns the rest of his beer and he just throws it as far as
Throws
he can.
it in the grass. Yep.
So I'm glad that they almost get assaulted by the creeper, because I'm pissed that they were gonna litter.
I like that the creeper throughout the whole episode is just like saying paper as he's chasing them, and you have no idea why he wants the paper.
Yeah. Also, the guy behind the mask, he's not like intelligently, like, you know, in a rough spot. He's just the man. He's just the guy. He doesn't need to be like, you know, paper. Like, you don't have to say anything.
Well, he might have a voice changer in there, so him just saying paper, you know, translates to that. No, I don't know.
I think anything he says just translated into paper. Like the voice modulator is just broken that day.
It was just paper
Well,
on repeat.
why are you telling them what you want? Now they're not going to give it to you.
Yeah, now they're gonna find out what's on it.
Like, just chase
With a
them.
match.
Don't don't reveal your secrets.
Just
Hey, let's light this match right next to this paper. It'll reveal it. Nah, dog, that's getting set on fire.
Oh my god, the chick in this episode, I loved it.
There's one good joke. There's one good joke
yeah.
in this episode when he's like, you have to convince him that like you're a dog or something. Shaggy tells him you have to tell him that he's a chicken and you're a dog. And so Scooby like mimics like he's a chicken and he's a dog. And then the chick starts acting like a dog. And then Shaggy goes, oh great, he thinks he's a dog. That made me laugh. That made me actually like laugh.
All right, well, guys, I think we're forgetting the line that influenced Jack Nicholson in Batman when he played his role as the Joker. And it's when the creeper is like cornering Velma, and she says, "You wouldn't hit someone with glasses on, would you?" Does anybody remember when Jack Nicholson said that?
I thought you were going to say when the
No.
creeper was like, wait till they get all over me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just remember when he says
Wait.
that in this episode.
Is that this episode? Because I remember him saying that.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
is this episode. Yeah. And then Fred's
So,
like,
yeah.
you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Oh, yeah, he does say that, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Actually, what Fred actually says is when they fall into the hay bale, he says something like, let go, that's my blank. And I swear to God, it sounds like he says, let go, that's my dick.
I don't
Like
remember
someone
that.
grabbed onto his dick.
Imagine if he actually said that.
Maybe he did, and they like slipped it in,
Maybe he
like because
did
like
it.
Disney's
Yeah.
known for doing that, so maybe Hanna-Barbera did it too.
Maybe.
One of my favorite parts in this episode is when Fred is getting chased, and he literally says out loud, "Uh-oh, looks like I'm a goner. Whoops," and then falls.
Whoops.
Yeah, so half this episode is just the creeper chasing them. Back and forth, back to this one spot, and then they go into the cave with the creepy hermit for no reason.
Yeah, what is that about?
And then they leave with, that had no resolution.
Nothing.
And then they leave, and then the creeper starts chasing them again. Back into the barn where he just chased them out of. They literally go from one point to another point to another point without solving shit. They just have a paper.
They just run. And that's when the song about the ostrich is playing. And immediately I heard those lyrics and I was like, what choice, like what decision went into picking this song? It makes no sense.
It's probably a cheap song that they could get.
It's a great song.
It's probably just a cheap song. I thought it was the Monkees at first.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention the Hermit of the Hills, like when you guys mentioned that. He makes squirrel stew with pickled bat wings and crabgrass roots.
I thought he was going to be eating people, so that was kind of a relief for me. Totally looked like the kind of guy who eats people, just saying.
Yeah, I guess that the point of that was just the complete, like, just to give you a red herring just to distract.
That's another thing in A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. They have a character named Red Herring. He's the bully, and Fred is always saying, "I know who it is. It's Red Herring." And then Daphne and Velma are always like, "No, you fucking idiot. It's not. It's never been him."
All right. Let's go to season 3. Well, sorry, season 3 of the.
Well, we have to talk about the resolution.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, you know what?
The bank teller did it.
Yeah. So
the only other major character in the episode did it. Also, the sheriff. They go. They're like, we have to call the sheriff. So they actually do the right thing this time. They're like, this is a mystery. We're going to call the sheriff. The sheriff's out of town. I guess that means there's no other cops in town because they don't try to call another cop. And then the sheriff is like, "Oh, good, I got your message, and I went straight over to Bubba's house, and he had the bank guard tied up in his basement." And then Fred and Velma continue to explain the mystery, and it's like, guys, you don't need to do that. He kidnapped a man. He's going to jail for good. Like, you don't need to explain any further. We got him. Like, there's no need.
And I like how they say the guard installed the camera. And it's just this big-ass camera, and the sheriff does not notice the camera.
Yeah, wouldn't, like, the president of the bank have to approve that camera, too? Like, he would have to approve that, right?
Absolutely.
And also, I love his idea is he's going to steal the money, and then he's going to come back dressed as the creeper, and then they just show him outside of the bank, like
with the briefcase.
Like, clearly the people who saw you leaving it also saw you stroll up to the front of the building, right?
Yeah. Like, why didn't he just take it?
Why didn't he just take it? Well, because then the feds are like, what happened? What's going on with your money? You're embezzling. Yeah. So he was just like, oh, it's a ghost that does it, because, like, they would be okay with that.
Yep.
Let's get on to the Bermuda one. My least favorite one.
Yeah. This one, season 3, episode 2. Well, it was like, what, repackaged?
Yeah, through syndication, I think it was like a different show.
Yeah, for like the Scooby-Doo show, but it was originally part of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? So we watched it. The Bermuda Triangle. I was excited for this, but also just where did they get a yacht? It was like my first thought.
Guys,
Fred and Daphne are rich as fuck.
Yeah, they make so much money.
They are the waspiest wasps of all time.
Aren't they teenagers?
They are the 1%.
Guys, I don't know what you're talking about. I love this episode. It was probably my third. God. It was probably my third favorite still, because I loved, like, the original ones, but I still thoroughly enjoyed this one.
I feel like there were, like, the most things in this one that didn't make sense for me. Like, there were so many times that I was like, yeah, I was like, what? For like half of it.
So they're going around. So it starts out with, like, the people flying the plane, and they're like, oh, there's a UFO, and then the UFO swallows them whole, right?
Yep.
And then the mystery gang are on a yacht, and they're sailing in the middle of a hurricane.
Yep. like in Bermuda.
Right.
Or like around the Bermuda Triangle, just like happened to be.
No one's wearing any tropical garb, by the way. No one's in their swimsuits. They're bathing. No. Fred's wearing the same old 1% outfit he's always had.
Mm-hmm.
Velma has a sweater. In the Bermuda Triangle, she has a sweater. What is happening?
Yeah, so they're in the middle of the ocean and a hurricane comes.
Right.
And
then what happens?
And then they get stranded on this like deserted island.
Well, something happens before then. There's the hurricane.
In the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah.
There was silence.
In the eye of a hurricane, there is quiet. Oh my God, Lin-Manuel Miranda's here, guys. Did you hear that? Lin,
Wow.
Lin, what did you think of this episode? Nobody needs to know. He's a man of few words, guys. All right, see you later, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Wow, that was incredible. I can't believe we get to put that in our description now, that he was a guest. So yeah, they get stranded.
They get stranded on this island. And they're on the island, and all of a sudden they like cut to like nothing, not them, and just like there's just a voiceover of Fred going, "On this map, it says there's no one that lives on this island."
Not something a map would say.
I'm like, what? There's no image of him having a map. There's like, he just says it. All right. So, does anyone have anything else from this episode that is worth noting?
Give me a second. Let me just scroll through.
Well, they show up on the beach, and the old sea dog's like, "There's skeleton people on this beach or some shit." And then they're like, "Oh, let's get out of here." And then something happens where they get trapped inside a hidden military base.
Yep.
And then they get chased by these one-eyed skeleton monsters, and then Fred, Daphne, and Velma almost legitimately drown. They get trapped in a box, and they almost drown, even though the water's obviously coming out of the box. So,
and what is the box? What is that box for?
Yeah, I have
it's
no
for
idea.
drowning teenagers.
It's a random box just sitting there, and they go and they say, "Yeah, let's go in here. This is a good idea."
Yep.
Was that Fred's suggestion?
sense.
Sounds like a Fred suggestion.
It definitely was, I think.
That toxic masculinity. Tried to drown it out, but he survived. And then Shaggy and Scooby get chased by the monsters on like 3 or 4 separate boat chases, I swear.
Oh, there's so many boat chases.
And then Shaggy gets trapped in the submarine, and then he sees a bunch of sailors tied up, and then he's like, "I'm not going to save you because I'm getting chased." And then he finds a laser that's not really a laser, that it's actually the projection of the UFO, which is insane technology. And then they're like, they trap the 3-eyed monsters literally in a trash bin. The greatest metaphor for this episode ever. And then they're like, then this old sea dog's like, "Yeah, I'm back." And Shaggy's here like, "Oh no, it's the old sea dog." And Fred's like, "No, he's helping us," even though he has no clue why the sea dog would be helping them. And it turns out that the sea dog is a Navy SEAL. What?
Like an undercover.
What? You can't just lay that on us. That's the most Deus Ex Machina shit ever. What do you mean they're SEALs? They're Navy SEALs or whatever. What? Why is the military involved? Why are they there? This was rough.
It sounds like you guys took this show way too seriously. I had such a blast with it. And regardless of all the questions and, plot holes and questions, did I repeat questions? Yeah. So.
I mean, I still had fun. Make no mistake. But not as much fun as I would have liked to have had.
Oh, that's upsetting. Let's get into reviews. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who wants to start us off?
Well, do you want to start with a downer first, or do you want to start with the high first? Because
let's start with a downer.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like I'm in between.
All right. Clearly, I'm the lowest on this. We can just tell by the way I'm talking. I'm acting. Didn't like this. Was counting for the episodes to be over. Didn't enjoy it. Wasn't fun. Wasn't quirky to me. Was just annoying. If you're gonna aim high, Scooby-Doo, you gotta hit the mark, and they don't. Listen, I'm sure the newer stuff is probably pretty good, but like the idea, these characters are barely even one-dimensional. I don't know what Fred's character is. I don't know what Daphne's character is. Velma's smart, I guess. Shaggy and Scooby are scared and like food. They have the most character out of all of them. The mysteries are dumb. The pacing is bad. They run around for 15 minutes and then the show's over. That's every episode. And I'm giving this a 38 out of 94.
Wow.
Holy shit. That's the most insulting review that we have documented.
It wasn't good. We're supposed to put our nostalgia by the side. It was bad. It was a bad show. I feel like it's always been a bad show and people just don't want to admit it because it's old.
So I'm going to counter that and just say I have never heard anyone speak so poorly of Scooby-Doo. So Colin is looking at this as, you know, he's measuring this show as he would a, you know, top 10 greatest movies of all time. So this show is made for kids.
No, I'm not.
Oh, 100%.
I'm pointing out how I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was bad.
Oh, man.
That's all I can review it as. I'm not comparing this to Gone with the Wind. It's a cartoon. It's a Saturday morning cartoon, and there are a lot better ones than this one. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if you like look at, if you just
think if you stack this next to a Looney Tunes blows it out of the water. I think the Jetsons blows it out of the water. It's not great, and I'm sorry that you have to hear it from me.
Oh man,
I'll stop talking.
You want to go, Josh, or you want me to go? I feel like yours is going to be higher than mine.
So I don't. It absolutely 100% is. So it's hard. It's actually hard to rate this, and I feel like I encounter this issue all the time because, you know, my rating for how much I enjoy this is obviously going to be higher than how, you know, there's problems with the show. Let's be honest. But they have a goal. Okay, it's a fun like detective show with like weird characters that like all have their, you know, like it's very one dimensional. There's really no like character arc in any way, shape, or form. It's a show from the 60s. I mean, not that that's a good argument, but because Looney Tunes is fantastic, but I think Scooby-Doo is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. I think they know how to have fun with it. I don't think they try to take it seriously, and that's, well, not even people. I think that's maybe whoever reviews this bad might be getting confused. They are not trying to be. They're not trying to be like anything.
Whoa.
What, Colin?
Felt like a shot fired at me.
So it's just like you also have to look at intent. There's not a goal to make this show like it knows what he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
A fun.
I disagree.
Like,
I don't think it knows what it wants to be. I think
Really?
It's all over the place tonally. Sometimes it's super silly. Sometimes it's supposed to be taken seriously. I don't think it knows what it wants to be tonally. I think the pacing's awful. The characters are barely there for the most part. The plot lines are dumb and predictable, and it's the same thing every episode. Rough. It's to quote a dog, it's rough.
I'm thinking of like all the things you've rated, and I'm just trying to put this into.
Pretty sure Cats Don't Dance got higher for me. You want to talk about that?
Wow, you know, Colin, you're a big Legacy man. I can't understand why you're not taking Legacy into account with this show.
Who says I'm a big Legacy man?
Cheerios.
I mean, when it comes to my opinions, I'm not ranking. I'm not giving Cheerios a rating. I'm giving the show a rating. You want Legacy for the actual rating episodes? Hit the bricks. That's not what this is about. If you're trying to win a draft, you gotta play to your audience. And also, I like Cheerios. I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, I like Cheerios too. We're not going to get into that. So, Colin, what you're saying is your rating would be much higher if you're taking your personal bias out of it.
No. It's a bad show.
Okay.
I don't know what more you want me to say. It's our reviews, right? It's not like we're not trying to match up like what would Siskel and Ebert score these. right? Like we're three schmucks from Pennsylvania. Like,
hell yeah.
like
I
who cares what we have to say? But that's the podcast.
I guess because I've never heard such a low blow to this show. Like I've never heard anyone dislike it.
I'm not like, I don't hate it. I don't have like a vendetta against it, but I don't really have like a personal connection to this version of the show in particular. And just coming in I'm the freshest out of you three when it comes to this show, and it was bad. And Courage the Cowardly Dog did it better. That's all I'm going to say.
You're right. You're right. You know what?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I'm excited to review Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage is getting a 39 from me, I think.
Holy shit.
Review that one.
Let me just step in and give my average review.
I think I gave Will Smith a higher score than this one.
Before you give your rave review. So I enjoyed this show. I liked it. I had fun. The theme song's iconic. I loved listening to that. By the third episode, I was kind of tired of it, but I wasn't like I didn't actively hate it or anything like that. Like, I liked it. I liked watching it, but it wasn't my favorite. This is tough. So I'm gonna give it a 61 out of 97. It's like a bit above average, but not like great. It's pretty good.
This is a great cartoon. I'm going 85 out of 95.
You are insane.
85 out of 95.
You gave this an 85?
Yep.
That's one of the highest scores we've ever had on the show.
Wow.
100%. Scooby-Doo is wonderful. It's a wonderful show.
Josh, I hope that the next time you do laundry, you forget to put them in the dryer and they just stay in the washing machine overnight, and they get that mildewy smell, and you have to wash them again.
How dare you? We got to do an episode on this game.
I hope that when you go to the grocery store, there's a really long line and you're in a rush.
Guys, so all right.
That's a pretty simple one, but I like it.
So let me just end this by saying I will be honest here, okay? This is one of my favorite cartoons. It's hard to take a step back and look at it like kind of objectively. My rating is a little clouded with, my personal love for it. I will say, as I got older and watched it, even though I enjoyed it, I was like, how does this compare in terms of writing? Because, the writing, it's, compared to, shows like Courage, or, even early SpongeBob episodes, where it's it's actually smart writing. Scooby-Doo isn't smart, not that it tries to be, but so I will say it is, it's a little heartbreaking to kind of rate it that way. So my 85 is high, and that is
it's higher than Ed, Edd and Eddy. I'm pretty sure
it is,
which is crazy.
Oh no,
Ed, Edd and Eddy was so much better. I
like Scooby-Doo more than Ed, Edd and Eddy.
You like the 3 episodes we watched more than the 3 episodes of Ed and Eddy we watched. That's what you're saying.
You have to understand, I watched Scooby-Doo quite a bit, so I know the show.
Yeah, but the show, we're reviewing the show as is now as adults, and you're telling me that those 3 Scooby-Doo episodes were better than the 3 Ed and Eddy episodes we watched.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I liked it more. Colin, you're forgetting. I watch I watched Scooby-Doo last year.
You're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but that just blows my mind on a personal note. I'm trying to find the scores for Ed and Eddy, but I've never labeled anything.
Colin,
I feel like I gave it an 87.
Michelle gave it.
I think yours was really
Michelle
high.
gave it an 80,
Yeah, you did.
a high 80.
You gave it an 87. One of us gave it a 74. One of us gave it a 75. I see it right now.
That was before I sort of had any sort of system. I was like, hell yeah, 87. I mean, I mostly stand by it.
Hell yeah.
So, let me just say this, okay? In terms of Ed, Edd and Eddy, if you look up, if you just look at lists, and you look up greatest cartoons of all time, you will never in a million years see Ed and Eddy above Scooby-Doo.
Sure, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But what I'm telling you is, there's in no universe where I watch those Ed, Edd n Eddy episodes, and then I watch those Scooby-Doo episodes, and I think, you know what? Scooby-Doo's actually better than this. There's no universe in which that version of me exists.
By the way, Scooby-Doo's funny. It's hilarious.
It was. There was one good joke.
No, not like that. It's just funny to like. I think it's funny. Like not witty. It's just funny to laugh at. There's a lot of funny parts. Like not.
Mm-hmm.
I think we watched a different show.
I think we're just different, Colin.
I didn't get anything that was funny. One moment made me laugh.
The shaggy ass sticking out. Are you kidding me? I was cracking up at that.
No, that was just weird and dumb. It's poor animation style. Why is that fun? Why is that? That's not. You're laughing because it was bad. Because it was a bad decision that they made. That's the point I'm making. That's how I'm rating it. It was a bad show. Bad score. Bad show.
I had to give Scooby-Doo love. Okay, had to show it some love.
So, what is our overall score here?
We have a 64.34%. It's just a smidge above Michelle's score.
All right.
I am just saying we are going to watch so many cartoons for this show, and that 85 is gonna be rough. Like that's your cap right now.
Guys, there's a lot of good shows. Like there's a lot that will probably go above that. And I'm not rating strictly critically. If I was rating critically, it would be lower. You guys told me to rate it how I liked it more.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong because it's your opinion. I'm just saying I have a very different opinion, and I'm just explaining why. That's all I'm saying.
Stay creamy.
We didn't even do the plugs. We have to do the plugs.
It's okay. We can.
Wow,
we can't just end the podcast like that. Someone has to do plugs.
Goodbye. Okay,
No.
I'll do them.
We'll cut this out.
Okay.
No, it's staying in.
You guys.
Everything stays.
If you liked our great episode today, please feel free and please do leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts and look out for new episodes every Tuesday. You can find those episodes wherever podcasts are found: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, so on and so forth. You can follow our social media on Instagram and Facebook at Millennial Milkshake, on Twitter at MilkBasedPod, and on Snapchat at MilkshakePod. You can also follow us on each of our personal social media accounts. You can follow Colin at The Last Call, spelled COL, on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can follow Josh on Instagram at Joshie_124. That's Joshie with an IE. And you can follow me on Instagram at Michelle Thoughts. That's thoughts like the way you think.
Changing my social media handle to Scooby-Doo Hater 69.
Fair.
No, 38. Scooby-Doo Hater 38.
Ooh, yep. Thank you guys for joining me.
Hey, thank you, Josh and Michelle, for joining me.
Thank you both for accompanying me on this podcast. And I hope everyone, as always, stays creamy.